hello everybody. Welcome once again to the Devil's Hour. My name is Jeff with the G, and with me, as always, as we talk gaffing the truth, I am with Scabs the Clown. How you doing, Scabs?
I'm good, man. So this is Devil's Hour?
Oh, is it Devil's Hour? I just watched the Devil's Hour commercials. Gaffing the truth. No, I haven't been drinking, not at all.
Yeah, me neither.
So yes, this is the Devil's Hour. Oh, so God damn it, I did it again. So it's the G spot. I mean, it's stupid live stream. It's Gaffing the Truth. Hello, everybody. And oh, look, the amazing Boobzilla's in the chat. How are you doing, my friend? I hope all is going well for you there in the Las Vegas land. So today, on whatever show we're on, we figured we were going to talk about one of the popular subjects we like talking about a lot is aliens, and it's been a bit since we talked aliens, alien shit. So we figured we'd talk aliens today. That'd be cool. Mr. Faces Wall, thank you so much. Work, doing well. Also, so much work between the both of us. We're working crazy hours.
Yeah. I'm still tired.
Yeah, it's like today was my day off, and I don't feel like I rested at all. The only plus side is I get to sit on my couch versus being on my feet all day, but I was still working on stuff. So
Yeah.
one day I will just have a day off.
I've tried that. It didn't work.
It'll be sometime mid-November at the earliest. I'll have that extra day off where I can just go, I can work on stuff, or I can play whatever video game, and I'll play the video game for about an hour, and then I'll get bored, and then I'll want to work on whatever it is.
Yeah.
But for now, we're going to work on talking about aliens. So, Scabs put up a thing on his social media asking people for alien stories, and boy, howdy, did people oblige by stories. So, what were some of the fun ones that you came across?
Well, here, I don't want to read this whole thing. It's one of those, it just goes into depth about stupid stuff that's not irrelevant. But this is from the Huffington Post. Miley Cyrus was either chased down by a UFO or had too much weed wax. It's a story from 5 days ago. She claims that she was chased down by a UFO. She didn't feel threatened, but she said, I didn't feel threatened at all, actually, but I did see a being in the front of the flying object. It looked at me and we made eye contact, and I think that's what really shook me, looking into the eyes of something that I couldn't quite wrap my head around.
That was called Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yeah. I don't know, like, I've never been that high.
No, neither have I. But I'm not saying it's not. I know of people who say they've been that high. I have yet to experience this highness of which they speak. The closest I've come down to is being in a room with a strobe light, and the way the light hit the Coke cans made it look like the Coke cans were laughing at me. But that's obviously a trick of the lights. There's no way that I've yet to have and aliens came down and try to try to weird at me. $5 said she was startled by an authority figure in a busted car. Maybe, but it's also Miley Cyrus, so I don't think she would understand that.
Yeah, or if she was just on weed wax.
Also true. Don't forget, like she did an album with the fucking Flaming Lips, so it's hard.
She's about to do a Metallica cover album.
I'm leaning towards weed wax because she's doing a Metallica cover album.
Yeah. Oh, thanks 2020.
Thanks 2020.
Jesus. All right. Yeah, you want to get into some of these stories? There's some pretty
let's hear some
interesting
fun
ones.
stories from some of these people who decided to jump in.
Yeah. I'm only going to go with the stories that I got permission from people, except for
Yeah,
this
yeah.
one, because it's our buddy Paradox.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Paradox was on
Friend of the
our
show. It's been on the show. Yeah,
Paradox was on our Hollow Earth show,
yeah.
and he said it sounds bad, but it was when we arrived at the gathering of the Juggalos in Illinois. The sky was so clear there at night, and I could not help but stargaze. Well, as I was admiring the night sky and how covered in stars it was, me and a few others noticed several quote unquote stars moving in all those patterns that you typically hear about when one sees a UFO. Sudden 45-degree turns, sudden stops mid route, appearing and disappearing, blinking and changing color while moving. I promise it was very noticeable, and there were several witnesses with me. Either way, we have a very busy space highway full of extraterrestrial activity, or a lot of our own technology activity, or our own technology activity up there that they are not explaining to us. Who knows? It could be the inner Earth dwellers fucking around out there. LOL.
It very much could be Paradox. I wouldn't put it past the. I don't know what was our consensus as far as what was in Earth. Was it lizard people? Was that our consensus?
Yeah, I think so. Or lizard people, or the Incan ant people.
Or the Incan ant people? Oh, yeah, Incan ant people. That's just there needs to be a movie about that.
Yeah, right.
That's really interesting. Although, well, Paradox may have been sober at the gathering, the Juggalo, doesn't mean the air was not free of anything that could be construed as being problem. So there may have been stuff, or maybe it's been a combination between that contact high and seeing that weird ass balloon going over with the Hatchet Man or something. I don't know. I've never been to a gathering of the Juggalos. I don't know. I know they do wrestling there, and then they play weird ass music. That's all I know about it. And apparently, you can buy hatchets.
What? No, you can't buy hatchets. You can bring your own, though.
I thought that. Oh, see, now that's. I remember watching an episode of Workaholics, and they went to the gathering of the Juggalos, and some dude was there selling fucking hatchets.
But that wasn't even the gathering of the Juggalos. They didn't say that at all. They didn't say. I don't think they said Juggalos, did they?
Oh no, they were fucking juggalos. I mean, if they didn't say it, they
Oh
were
yeah.
treated like fucking juggalos. And Rebel Wilson was one of the fucking, for anybody who Rebel Wilson was, she was one of the juggalos. So actually, the juggalos are space aliens, or they're Hollow Earth inhabitants. I'm not sure. That would
Yeah,
explain a
killer clowns
lot.
from outer space.
It's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think ICP did do an outer space album. It was a psychopaths from outer space or something like that.
I could be. I don't like. Like it's one of those weird sort of things. Like they kind of fell off my radar after the Great Malenko, and I mean I knew of them, but like I wasn't working in music anymore, so I kind of like lost track of that because it's one of those. Oh yeah, I mean they're kind of just was not my gig. So, but anyway,
Yeah,
so
understandable.
it's still really weird regardless. All kidding aside,
So yeah,
Paradox. Um,
yeah.
I do ever discount
Mm.
people's experiences.
Yeah. No, let people know if they hop in the comments and
Yeah.
and they wanted to tell their story themselves, we'd send them a link. But we'll see if that happens or not. But another one, I actually went to middle school with this guy, and I believe he's in Denver now. But he said there have been reports about them flying over the mountains here. A few weeks back, we kept watching the shooting star free fly, so I went to Roswell, New Mexico. Because the truth is in Roswell, New Mexico.
No, that's just what they want you to think the truth is there. They're actually the truth is somewhere else. It's probably in Illinois where the juggalos are because nobody's going to believe a fucking juggalo.
Never going to happen. This is another person I've known for a while, and they've got a couple of stories. They actually sent me a picture. I don't know if I wouldn't be able to get it on there. But said first one, I was like 16 and we lived in the country. Got home from dinner one night and there was a huge craft with red and blue lights strobing around the bottom, just hovering over the back part of our land. I ran in to get a camera, came back out, and it took off all crazy fast, shot up, and then just gone. My brother won't talk to me about it at all, and he was the only person that saw it. And they said the second one, their husband, and they were driving with their husband, driving past one of those plants here in the Panhandle. They're in Texas, and there was this crazy silver orb hovering over the plant. It was so weird looking. Sat there for a good 2 minutes and then just disappeared. The third, I was driving alone coming home from Amarillo one night, saw this bright light in the sky and lost 30 minutes of time. I was driving, but I don't remember it at all. Now, that said, I now have an equilateral triangles on my stomach. It was not there before, and it showed up after I lost the time. It's super weird. And they posted a picture of it, and it is, just a triangle, 3 dots, like right here, like,
Interesting. Both of those things are very common when it comes to the abduction myth, which is lost time and then weird marks on the body. I use myth only because the fact is that until it's proven, it's considered a myth. So, like religion, myth. Anyway.
aliens are religion.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's. I mean, we talked about it before how like aliens pepper a lot of the ancient religions with like when we talked a little bit about Egyptology, it popped up. I know we talked. I think we even talked about it last when we talked about aliens and how like the fucking Bible's filled with alien stuff. So yeah, no, it's no actually, but it's one of those things that both of those things have been documented many times with like lost time, and then the like I think the triangular dot is a thing that got mentioned. And I discovered this before I got into X Files. So to be fair, so like things like I think either like I want to say like Communion, the book Communion probably talks about it a bit. I've read that ages upon ages ago.
Yeah. There was somebody in the comments somewhere who actually said that there was a name for that specific type where you just see like the 3 dots or the 4 dots in the sky moving, but it's completely
the 3
invisible
dots
otherwise.
too, like moving too. That's also very, which they attribute the fact is the craft is probably triangular, so a dot on each corner, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and it's using some form of cloaking or something like that, or a veil. Or it hasn't come completely through the to this dimension. Who knows?
Also true, yeah. So just sort of talking like a little bit more on the science side of things. Like last time we talked about the alien sort of stuff, let's talk about life on other planets. You heard that fact is like Venus of all the planets that are surrounding that are Eris, it looks like we're more likely to see life on Venus versus Mars. Because there's a gas. Yeah, well, there's a gas in the atmosphere called phosphine, which can only be, so far that we know of, can only be produced by biological means. Now, that does not mean that there's like people living there or something like that. From because like a lot of slimes and molds will use like expel like phosphine, so it's more likely something at that level at best. But still, it's one of those. That's more definitive that we've seen, other than some of the things like going, well, probably like the fact is like Mars was probably there's something, or was it Io off like what is it? Io was the moon off Jupiter, which like could exhibit signs as well because it actually had an atmosphere. Basically, anything that actually has an atmosphere, we're more likely to see something.
Yeah, that one and Titan. They're very interested in Titan because they feel like there's an ocean of just frozen water there.
Yeah. But that's actually, that's all stuff that's like, that's I find I find that's fascinating. The fact that we go, oh, Venus, probably. I mean, that's the fact that we might have like at least some protozoic or that sort of life there.
If I remember correctly, if we were to try to inhabit Venus, I believe it's Venus. I believe Venus is tidal locked, and the only possible place you could live would be on the space that's right where the light stops and the darkness begins, which is only a couple of miles thick. because
well,
if you
yeah,
went
well,
too
you, know,
far
you have
this
to
way, you'd burn. If you went too far that way, you'd freeze.
yeah, you have to consistently move with the
No,
with the.
it's tidal locked. Only one side of the planet
Oh,
faces. So
that's Mercury.
no, there's another one where there's a strip of land that's possibly inhabitable, and I want to say it's Venus.
Well, Venus actually still rotates, so I think you have to go
Which
to.
one am I thinking of? I forgot what
I think
planet it
I
was.
know Mercury's
Mm,
fixed. So no, but like the
mm.
problem with Venus is the fact is that the atmosphere is completely and horribly toxic to us.
Yeah, we made it that way. We came from Venus.
That's it could be, yeah, that would make sense.
No, that's another theory I heard somewhere that we were originally from Venus. We were originally from Mars. That's why the planets are so screwed.
See, I've already learned that the men were from Mars and the women were
Mm-hmm.
from Venus. I
Ah,
mean,
that's
I
why they're
read
so
those in a book
toxic.
someplace.
Hey.
Hey.
That was a terrible joke.
And for those people tuning in now or later, you're welcome. This is the stuff you get to see if you tune into us. Is us making dumb jokes while we're trying to gaff the truth about some of these weird things. Because these are we talk about it because there's really no real answer to them. So that's why we talk about them, and
Yeah.
because we
Yeah.
both find it fun.
Yeah, there's no definitive answer. It's we don't know. Nobody knows. I mean, I'm not denying that any of the people in these comments have seen something. I've seen some weird stuff in the sky, but I don't know what it was.
Oh yeah, whether or not it was the
I'm
thing
not
you
going to
said
be like
it is.
aliens.
Yeah.
Because it was more likely our government. We can't trust them.
Well, at least until next Tuesday, and then everything goes right again, right? Right?
I voted for Vermin Supreme. No, I didn't vote for Vermin Supreme, but I totally would have.
If it was any other year, just
yeah.
I went with Left Twix because I'm left-handed.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
No, actually, weirdly enough, is this as we were want to get off subject is like on Devil's Hour, which is another show I do here. I did there's this group called WTF Bra. Who make these weird kind of like remix videos. They're the guys who did the COVID-19 banger from Kenneth
I
Copeland.
love that song. I
Oh,
love that
they do
song so much.
oh they do so many more. Like basically they've been remixing the debates, and they did a one like basically they had one like recently it just said vote, and then so they got like you got 45 and Biden kind of just going talking and stuff like that, and it's being thrown in like Kenneth Copeland's being thrown in going vote 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 vote. And it's so good. It goes, I like it, but it's like weirdly enough, it's like I got on board for Kenneth Copeland because I'm not going to vote. Well, it basically goes, well, I'm not going. I don't like either one, so I'm not going to vote. And he goes, well, guess what? You voted for the wrong one, and just like stuff like that. I'm like, dude, that is profound. What the hell?
Even Mike Tyson has a techno song out now.
But yeah, that WTF Fry, I love doing this. I love watching them anyways. I usually almost always throw them on the show. But anyway, back to Aliens, which also could be Kenneth Copeland because have you seen him?
All of them. Every televangelist looks like an alien to me. And this is from a guy knew for a while. He said, twice I was sitting on the back of my truck when we were in high school looking up at the sky. I saw what I thought was a plane or a satellite. Went across really slowly, then it went really fast, streaking across the sky. Another one appeared in the exact same spot. Same thing, was going really slow and then shot across the sky. And that happened 2 more times. I was like, whoa. Second time where I live now, walked out into the middle of the street because I saw it low. It was silent, big fireball about 200 foot in front of me. Stayed there for a minute and then slowly vanished, and a glowing pearl in Austin, but I think that was something else. LOL. He said the orb was about the size of a beach ball.
All right. So Actually, weirdly enough, the quote unquote flaming ball is another weirdly common sighting when it comes to the unidentified objects. Like it's almost like a probe or like a probe or satellite or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, not a probe, like a probe.
Alien drone, like an alien
Yeah,
drone.
pretty much.
That's I mean that's been a popular one to talk about for ages. I mean, we kind of talked about like a little bit about the like uh, ghost lights and all that stuff, like and some of the other types of stuff we talked about, or will o' the wisps. But that's another one that people talk about. The fact is, it's something like that. Although I do find it interesting, the fact is the guy lived someplace and then moved someplace else and had basically the same experience.
Yeah, I mean that's common too. Like people saying, like people who were like I was visited as a child and it's never stopped, no matter where I move, no matter where I go.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, if the tracking thing is to be believed, then that makes sense because you're low jack. So
Hmm.
it's
Yeah,
like when you chip your dog, you're always going to find you.
yeah. And there's like alien implants and all kinds of weird stuff like that. And actually, somebody made a comment with a story about their weird alien implant and some other things.
All right.
And hopefully, we'll get to that one. But this one's from a buddy of mine. We'll just call him Ring. He said, I love planes and I'm always looking up. Sometimes you see something that isn't behaving like a plane or helicopter. This dude really does love planes, model planes, and all kinds of cool stuff. Um, so, first one saw a huge glowing ball of light drop four smaller lights. These little lights dropped out one by one and flew in different directions. Then the glowing ball winked out. Second one, I was outside like at 3 a.m. smoking in the backyard, looking at the stars when a huge yellowish orb flew from over the horizon directly overhead in less than a second. I put my cigar out and went back inside after that. I don't blame him.
Yeah.
And this one, I vaguely remember hearing other people talk about this. Um, but you've been to the air shows before?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they always do like the displays of like planes flying in formation, or they do the battle reenactments like the dog fights and stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh
Um,
hey, wait before you get further. Hey, we just got followed by Double X Zetro 89 Double X. Thank you for the
all
follow,
right,
my friend. We appreciate it, and we're glad to know that somebody's watching.
yeah, right.
So, and if you guys have any alien stories
Finally,
like,
we have a fan. I've never had a
oh
fan in
hey,
real life.
Megs again did it too, man. We got like two follows in a row. What?
Hey,
Hey, if you guys have, you guys who are joining us the chat, if you guys have any alien stories stuff like that you want to share, just drop them in the chat. We'll talk about it. Anyway,
yeah,
back to your friend. What's up,
yeah,
Mexican?
and
Yay! Thank you for following us.
yeah, and if since Mexican's here, he knows this. I'm talking about Ringmaster, dude. He said the third one was he witnessed by pretty much everyone at the air show back in 2009. During the Blue
Uh-huh.
Angels demo, two small white orbs with metallic triangles hovering really high above the airfield. The triangle was doing some spirals because the sun was gleaming off of it. People around us started pointing at them and stopped watching the Blue Angels. Then a lot of people started to leave before the show ended. The triangle disappeared, but the orbs remained. They moved by what looked like jumping from north to south. Crazy. And I remember other people talking about that, the air show, like some crazy shit went on in the sky that wasn't airplanes.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe I've seen that in like um other like just random videos that I watch, like stupid stuff on the internet of like, people at an air show and it's like, oh, we're recording the Harrier jet. And then it's like, what the hell is that thing flying past the Harrier jet? I mean, it kind of makes sense if you want to look at it in that conspiratorial way, where they're like, oh, okay, they're showing off their technology right now. What do they got? And that's why they'd be watching us doing something silly like that.
Maybe. So when I was so speaking of air shows, when I was a kid, probably 10 or 12, somewhere in that age, I was living up in the North Texas area, and Carswell Air Force Base, which I believe is now gone. Um, it was right there in Fort Worth, Texas, and they used to have the air shows all the time. And so they'd either do like the Blue Angels or the Thunderbirds or whatever. And so we're walking in to go into the air show because you can look at all the planes like on the ground and stuff like that. And we're walking by this big long thing with it had a hangar that was open. And so I'm a kid, I have a camera, so I'm taking pictures of everything. Some dude like it was like in a for lack of a term like army gear, just like somebody who like whatever, and like was walking by going, hey, you need to put your camera away. They're gonna take it away from you. Because he's walking opposite, like just walking the fence line. And like I'm taking pictures of stuff, things like that. And there were a couple of like really cool looking planes in the hangars. And so fast forward like I don't know, like 5 or 6 years later, they're talking about the uh, the new stealth bombers and stuff like that. And I'm almost positive I had a picture of one of those stealth bombers in the hangar up there. So it could be just something like it could be also our technology that we're fucking around with too.
Yeah, but it just seems like, well, I mean, never mind. It is the government, but like, why would they like practice that technology while other planes are flying around?
Because
Do it in plain sight.
yeah, deniability because they may like really gives guff about it. Like, oh yeah, that's our new thing. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
We've been showing it for years. You guys know that, and everybody goes, "Well, I do kind of remember weird shit flying every year at the air show. I guess it's a normal thing."
Yeah.
So what's his name? Like Zitra. I'm just gonna say Zitra because it's easier. He said he had a very vivid dream of being on a ship, for real, for real. And then Megs again heard on the radio that Houston is like number 4 in the states to witness UFOs. Well, if only because of size of Houston. That's not surprising because just that's so much landmass with so many people to have something like that popping up in the numbers. That's just I mean that literally is a numbers game. I mean in the end that's.
I remember there was a hurricane, however many years ago, and like I saw like one of my friends, like somebody I actually know, like he was like, "Yo, this is my video. What the hell?" And he was recording some kind of thing flying in the air, some kind of UFO looking thing, what we know to be, or what we know a UFO to look like. And I was like, "That's wild." And then all of a sudden there's like just people like sharing that same, either his video or their own videos from different angles of this same thing flying in the sky above Houston during a hurricane. Everyone's like, yo, what the fuck is this hovering in my neighborhood? What the fuck is this hovering over there? And they actually used my buddy's footage on like Fox News. It was a thing. It went viral, but you know how social media goes. It was really popular for like a day and a half, and then I don't know, someone leaked nudes.
And then cat.
Yeah, cat video. The cat video went viral.
That's usually what happens. Yeah, unless you have an animal, like your news is never long.
Yeah.
No,
Another. No, go ahead.
no, it's fine. I was gonna make a dumb joke, but now it's past. So go ahead.
I was gonna say another fellow performer said, "Me and a friend were sitting in the outside patio area, and there it was, a flicker of light in the sky, almost like a candle in the sky, but it was far out, and it was hovering up and down, but slowly. We all just sat here, eyes open, jaws dropped. It was moving out further and further until we couldn't see it no more, and we all got hammered." So they were sober when they saw it, I assume. Let's see.
Most of my friends don't like telling me any of their weird stories because I will I don't make fun of people intentionally, but I just go. I'm the person. Go, all right, cool. I'm down. Let's get that dissertation paper ready to go to proof. I mean, I'm down to believe anything as long as you got. Someone's got that James Randi challenge. Shout out to the dearly departed there of the proving within laboratory conditions. I'm down to believe in it if you got the stuff.
Yeah. This person, they posted a picture, and it looks like it's the triangle. It's a pretty legit looking triangle, and it's got like a one in the middle ish. Not really in the middle, closer to the one of the points of the triangle, but I mean, still a pretty perfect triangle.
Yeah.
Um, they said there were like 8 or 13. I just don't know if humans or aliens were flying them. And I asked when and where. And they said December 31st, 2015 on I-65. South was my direction. Just past Louisville, I had my sunroof all the way open, and you could hear a thing from them. It was crazy. Probably flew for 2 to 4-ish minutes. They kind of spaced out while flying. It was so bizarre. Um, this also said this didn't get me to believe in aliens, though. I am a see it to believe it kind of person, like we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But also, unidentified flying object doesn't necessarily mean aliens. It just means
Nope.
something you just don't know what the fuck it is. It could be anything. It
Yeah,
could be a
it's
weather balloon. It could be
yeah,
a weird
solar
meteorological
flare.
event. It could be a secret craft that was developed by one of our governments or private companies now, which SpaceX could be checking out some new shit that they're not talking to us about.
Yeah. Speaking
Tesla.
of that, I just wanted to scroll down and make sure before I said anything, but one of the comments is Jack Schrader said, "Go ahead, use my name." Um, and he did that for a reason because he actually sent me a link to something, but
It's
you
porn.
said no, I wish alien porn. I've totally watched it before. There's that really awkward ET one.
Yeah,
Don't
that one's
don't.
not I've seen the Star Wars ones a couple of times too. Everybody keeps making a new one, so
Yeah, so many Twi'leks. So Jack says, this was my official report to it's in nuforc.org. So it kind of reads as New Fork. If you see and want to report it, it is a place to go. I was actually called to tell them about it. I was in the pool and my wife was sitting on the edge. We heard a sound to the southwest. It looked like a jet type engine, but not a plane. Then a circular object came over the trees of our backyard and at what I would say would be a helicopter type height, but it was not a helicopter. It didn't sound like a jet or a helicopter, but it was a jet type sound. It moved slowly in a northeast direction and hovered directly over our pool for about 5 to 10 seconds, and then continued to slowly continue. When it was above, we could see what looked like 2 jet-type engines at the back of the craft facing in a downward direction. Then they rotated back some, and it continued moving slowly until it was out of sight due to the roof of our house. We were both looking in amazement and didn't think to grab my phone to video until I had almost cleared the house, and you really could see anything on the video since I tried to take the video so fast. We live near SpaceX, which is the general direction it came from, and are about 35 minutes from Fort Hood Army Base. So we thought maybe it might be an experimental craft. I am so mad at myself for not immediately grabbing my phone. I mean, that happens all the time. Like, you're just kind of in awe of something, and you're like, wait, I should get a picture of this. And then it doesn't happen. But yeah, right near SpaceX. Let's see.
Yeah,
We're
and
just
then
in this.
Fort Hood. That's an interesting thing to talk about. So Fort Hood doesn't really do a lot of
Yeah.
spacecraft. And get off subject. Fort Hood is where like any soldier, like a lot of soldiers who have like PTSD issues and stuff like that, they send them to Fort Hood because they have like a big hospital there. But that also explains why there's lots of issues that come out of Fort Hood is because they send all the people who have issues there. So, not saying that this person is, but just one of those weird kind of go, huh, yeah, this guy, no, but SpaceX, it's not that far away either, so that makes total sense. And like Tesla's coming to
Yeah.
Austin, so
Yeah, that's what he said next. And he said, and a bonus, it was when SpaceX does rocket engine testing. We're about 15 miles away with no barrier between us and the facility. We back up to a field, and it's pretty much farmland between. It literally rattles our windows.
yeah, so it could be a lot. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it was like experimental stuff out of SpaceX.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all. Who knows if how much fucking cocaine Elon Musk got a hold of?
Well, yeah, that's like I know he got so pissed off at California, he started shifting everything elsewhere. Like here, Texas, which we have like crazy liberal like business laws allow people to build lots of shit here. So that's why the new Tesla truck's being built right outside of Austin
Yeah.
or inside Austin. Like it's gonna be right here. It's like I think they're building it like kind of like 15 minutes from where I live currently. It'll be about 20 from where I live when I move ish. I don't know, but
What?
but no, it's still really interesting because I'm actually kind of curious on what that would have looked like and what that ended up being like or what that ends up looking like if it is an experimental craft. 'Cause a lot of times experimental stuff doesn't look pretty.
Yeah, of
So
course. Yeah. Um, I mean, and that's another thing. He said he saw turbines on it. Like turbines, like it's not something you really hear about when you hear about alien craft.
no, but it's still unidentified, so that counts.
Yeah. Okay. This is what I was talking about. The one that has the name. It's a TRB3. Just a local Houston musician saying this. TRB3 is what I believe I saw up. They got it cruising through low clouds, probably 1 to 2,000 feet up, and that's an educated guess. The thing that confirmed UFO for me was that it didn't make any noise, completely silent and slow-ish moving. Also, at the time, I figured it was actually 3 UFOs flying in formation. As the years passed and we had more TV shows, internet, etc., I started to see more people reporting the same thing. But as I said, it's government shit, perhaps alien tech, of course. But fact of the matter is that I thought I was crazy and seeing shit, so I never said shit. In a previous comment, he said he'd never he saw it and just like didn't tell anybody for 10 years.
Well, if you see
And they're
something,
saying it
say
was a
something.
kind of like Ellington Dixie Farm area here in like South Texas or South Houston.
Okay.
Yeah, and Ellington is where I believe where the air show is held.
Oh, that would make sense.
I believe yeah, it is because I used to work at a haunted house over there, and we'd like see them sometimes. Like you could see them in the distance when they were doing their flybys, like through the city. And then when I was going to a reptile expo one year, like I just see like all this black smoke and everything, and they were doing one of the dog fights. It was really cool. I haven't been in years. I used to go when I was a kid.
So in the chat, we got Megs again asks us, what are our thoughts on the Anunnaki and people with Rh negative blood? You think they're descendants of aliens? Now, are the Anunnaki? Are you talking about like the weird like? Because those were, if I remember
They were
correctly,
from Nibiru, planet Nibiru.
yeah, but that's also a talk is like they're actually a group of deities from the ancient Sumerians and stuff like that too. So
Yeah, but the Anunnaki are the ones on Nibiru, Planet X, and they're the ones who came here and pretty much created human life.
oh.
They were here in search of gold, and their planet
Okay.
is on a different orbit than all the rest of them. All the rest of them are on like a kind of like horizon plane, and this one's kind of it rings
Okay,
like
yeah,
the
all right. So
Uranus ring,
yeah, no, okay, yeah.
like Uranus
So
ring.
yeah, no, I get the Chariot of the Gods
Or
was
no,
the thing that
Neptune. It
popped
is.
up.
Is it Neptune? Yeah.
Chariot of the Gods, and then like the 12th planet, which is what you're talking about. Uh, from the planet Brit. I'm reading up on it now too, but like originally they were like an ancient Sumerian sort of thing. Yeah, like so yeah, between the Chariot of the Gods and then the 12th planet, and yeah, Yeah, interesting. RH negative blood, descendants of aliens. Well, I mean, technically, I mean, depending on what your belief on this sort of stuff is, uh, I personally do not think so, but that's just me. But that's only because also the thing is, like, basically, is the burden of proof is on someone else, not me, because I go
Yeah.
according to what we have here.
You know what?
RH negative
That's a
blood.
subject that we haven't.
That's evolution.
That's a
That's just
subject we haven't really. That's a subject we haven't really delved into. Um, Mexi, you want to do an episode with us about that sometime?
sure.
Anunnaki,
Yeah,
RH negative blood, yeah,
we
all
can
that
deep dive.
fun
I'll be
stuff.
happy to deep dive into
Nibiru,
that.
yeah.
We could spend.
I mean,
I
it's
think
very,
we.
it's interesting. The lore behind it is insane. There's so
No,
much
yeah.
going on
Once I
because
delve
you
into
get like
talking
the
about.
Nephilim out of that. You get some cool stuff.
Well, yeah. Once I go, oh, Cherry of the Gods. I completely forgot about that book. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
all right, cool, Megs. We'll talk about it later, and we'll next time we do like one of our alien shows, we'll bring you on, and we'll that'll be our primary thing talking about the alien thing is about that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm
Yeah,
down. I mean, I said I'm down to talk about it. I always
yeah.
am.
I mean, we could do a whole episode on that, like without being in just one of our alien episodes.
Also true. It's like yeah, no, that's true. We'll set up a schedule for that. Once me and
Yeah,
Scabs will
we'll
talk
figure
about
something out.
me and Scabs will talk about what our next round of shows. We got next week's plan. But we don't have anything after that, so maybe that might pop up sooner rather than later. Um,
Yeah.
but no, that's
Uh,
actually it's really interesting. So
yeah. All right. This next one, in an area, actually, I grew up right around the corner from this. Um, probably, okay, so 2012 is when they saw this. And I was probably, I think I was living off of Gessner at the time. So yeah, like right around that area. And said 2012, I was at the Walmart off Beltway in Westview and loading my groceries into my car. I saw a bright light that caught my eye, and then it took off faster than anything I've ever seen. Nobody will ever convince me that aliens and ghosts aren't real.
okay,
Yeah, I feel
we'll
that.
see. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's I said once again, I do not discount anybody's experiences. You experienced that thing. I'm not saying you didn't. Now, what it may be, who knows? But I'm just saying that
Yeah,
you experienced something that was weird that you could not explain. I get that because there's shit I know that I've experienced that I still can't explain. I don't jump right to the supernatural alien thing, but it's still one of those things. I go, I get why people do. Um, but yeah, no, it still would freak me out too. I'm not gonna lie, that would freak me out too if that happened to me.
yeah. Let's see. This one came from another musician buddy, awesome singer, piano player, a little bit of everything. He said, on a tour bus touring with the Houston Boy Choir, my buddy and I saw a large disc with the lights hovering over a field from a pretty far distance in southern Illinois a little after midnight.
Illinois again, interesting.
Yeah.
I was only kind of half joking about the fact that nothing happens at Area 51 because it's used as a blinder for things happening in Illinois. But maybe actually, there is a rumor which I heard about something else that there is actually a black site in Illinois somewhere where actually all the stuff really happens at. They just used like 51 as a cover. And where I heard it from had nothing to do with aliens. It's all the other weird shit, like giants and shit. This is where they have giant bones and shit like that at. What I hear. And I mean giants. I mean like 15-foot tall men, not like not like George the Giant or something like that, who we know. But it's
Yeah.
like actually like 15 feet tall men, like they used to roam the earth, giants.
Yeah. No, I definitely believe there's some giants out there, but like the thing that bothers me about it is like they're like, oh, they found these giant bones and then they disappeared.
Always
I don't
happens.
I don't understand why they're trying to hide giant bones. If I honestly feel like if we're excited about dinosaur bones, why wouldn't people be like excited about giant bones? it doesn't really change a narrative other than, okay, so these people were onto something when they were saying there was giants. It helps out like all kinds of history and all kinds of biblical stuff and everything. Why is it being repressed? I mean, same thing with like flat Earth. Like, what if they would just go out and be like, "Hey, so turns out Earth's flat." What then? Everyone was like, "I knew it."
No, well, the Earth has been proven to be round time and time again. So, yeah, Zitro goes,
Hey,
yeah,
but
but something
there's
about
still a
giants. He
chance.
goes,
Give them a chance, man.
and just like they lost the tech to get us to the moon, they never lost the tech to get us to the moon. The reason why we stopped going to the moon had nothing to do with technology; had all to do with ratings.
Mm-hmm.
It had all to do with TV. That's all it had
It's
to do with.
because we never made it to the moon. We can get into
No,
that too.
we did. No, we haven't talked. No, we never officially done moon yet. That's right.
Yeah.
No, the technology's always existed. Just the fact is that the last time we went to the moon, we got barely any ratings. So they went, well, I mean, to be fair, a lot of it was like we did that after the first couple of moon landings, it just all it was it just became commercials for money to go to NASA. Then when we stopped getting ratings about going to the moon, nobody cared anymore. So we went, we're not getting the ratings, so
yes.
we're going to cancel the moon program because there's ratings. I mean, that's how it works. That's America in a nutshell. So, oh, we're not getting the ratings, so cancel it.
Yeah, but the only time they've thought about like trying to go to the moon again was when China's like, so we're thinking about going to the moon. And
Oh
America
yeah,
was like,
because
well, we're going to go to the moon again too. Like we talked about it a long time ago. We're going to do it. We're going to do it again. You know, it's like that. It was the
China.
ratings. It was just the space race. It was Russia. It was China. It was everything.
Yeah, but it's like one of those like, but we'll see when we got to the moon. We go, all right, cool, we did it, and everybody goes, all right, well, I guess they got the moon there. And
Yeah, I mean the Russians got Sputnik, and America got butthurt.
anyway,
So Ryan says, I was like 12, sober as fuck, and there was a star I was looking at, but it was twinkling. So I asked my mom and my grandfather to come check it out, and they both were like, I'm not sure what that is. Then it dipped off, like just gone. No crazy shit, was just gone, man. I don't know how to explain what it looked like. It was rotating colors of bright light, red and bluish. Um, What else? By the way, I don't believe they're extraterrestrial. I think they're interdimensional. And I get that. And I said, I have a lot of, this is what I replied with. I said, I have a lot of theories. Interdimensional makes a lot of sense, though. I like the theory that's why UFOs always look the same and haven't advanced, is because they're all coming from the same dimension or time. They've just been coming here on our linear path just to see how we evolve, but they're just still coming from the same exact time. That's why all ships look the same throughout history.
so basically, you're just saying they're in a fixed point in time, and they're just jumping through our timeline, like
Mm-hmm.
some weird like astral tourists.
Yeah, pretty much. Just kind of
We're
like,
like
yeah, tourists or
Disneyland for
seeing what's
them.
going on with us, things like that. They might just be doing a tour because it's like, and that's why we freak out all the time. Like, because the aliens are just like in a UFO going by doing an Earth tour, and they're like, and this is a nuclear power plant. We gave up that technology a long time ago, and they go fly on like, and this is a volcano that's erupting. That's why they always say they're like over the nuclear power plants, and then they're always over like natural disasters and things. Maybe it's just aliens showing off the cool weird stuff that we have here on Earth.
And the reason you're seeing weird flashing lights is because it's the idiot tourist taking pictures.
Yeah, aliens still have just the cameras that you have to wind up.
Yeah, they
The
the
disposable
little
camera.
flashbulb cube. Just
Aliens are still on that technology when it comes to taking pictures.
well, that's they didn't need they advanced in other things. They just didn't think about that. That's fair. I mean,
Yeah, that's not a thing. Selfies aren't a thing on their planet. Don't judge them. But he went on to say, It's either it's fuckers from the future or it's dimensional. This species is too war driven for contacting with other life forms from this turf, in my opinion. And I said, "You talking about humans? That sounds like humans." And he said, "Yep." Yeah, that's why we don't get visited, because we're assholes. We're war driven. We want to fight everything, or you know, see how
We're
we
the
can kill it or fuck it.
we are the fucking Florida of the galaxy.
We really are. Shout out to
Uh,
anybody watching from Florida. I man, strong person.
so Meg's in the chat goes, the 2000s, he lived off of Eldridge and Richmond. That's in Houston, Texas, for anybody who is watching from not there. Was walking beside the bayou around sunset. I saw a bright light slowly fly down and stop for a few seconds, and then the light flew out faster than anything I've ever seen. I wasn't sure what it was then, but no doubt it was a UFO. You did not know what it was, so by definition, it is an unidentified flying object. And yeah, that's a story we've heard countless times with that sort of stuff. With like
Mm-hmm.
light, a light would come slowly hover and then like take off like the speed of light or speed of sound or speed of light as it were. Uh, Although I do find it interesting, and it's like not discounting experiences and stuff like that, is that the reason why we have the speed of sound with that clap of whatever it is because that all has to do with the air surrounding whatever the object is. That's why we have that thunder clap once you hit that speed of sound. So I find all this really interesting when these things like zip off like that quick. There's not that crack.
Yeah. Well, how do they explain it? It's some kind of propulsion system that they have that basically creates a black hole in front of the craft and it pulls it. So it pulls it and it doesn't, disrupt everything around it. So it's not going to make a sound.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's that kind of technology. That's what these nerds have come up with. I don't know how they think they know that, but like,
no, it's not. It's like
I love. Yeah, this is why we do an alien episode, like multiple alien episodes, because I love fucking aliens. I know this is just knowledge that I have, dude. Come on.
No, I understand what you're saying. I do know those stories too. I mean, I watch those amazing stories and X Files and
Mm.
stuff like that. I mean, X Files is literally my favorite show of all time. So,
Yeah, Jenny and I kind of started doing a little rewatch here and there. We'll watch a couple episodes and then that's about it. But
man, if I
we're
thought we could
still in
get
like
away,
we're still in season one just because I'm like rarely home anymore.
no, it's
Working like doing shit at the haunt, but God, it's fun just watching these
love
like
that
weird
shit
early
so much.
'90s X Files episodes. Oh
And like
man,
even
okay,
with
I'm good.
when they brought back the new series and like because the and everything like when they brought back the new series and they went over why the cell phone stuff and it was so good and brilliant. I thought it was hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
Meg's in Houston now, but traveling to Cali in 2 weeks. So hoping to see something on the way. You probably will because that is a long, boring fucking drive. You're gonna
It
see
is.
something.
Well,
Oh my god!
from what I
Anything
remember,
once
it
you
like
start going west on fucking 10, it is like the worst. Even just
I
going from
remember like
Houston to San Antonio, it's the worst. And don't get me
yeah.
wrong, San Antonio isn't great, but that drive is just.
I drove um, to LA with my family one time to go visit my aunt, and Anaheim. Sorry, we drove to Anaheim. Um, Fucking 24-hour drive,
Yeah.
and I remember looking like I slept through most of it. I just slept in the back. I was I don't know like 15 or something, 16, but like I remember like going to sleep and then waking up and it's still the same desert and still the same mountain that was to our left like 3 hours ago.
Uh, Corey Glory streams. Hey, Corey. I know Corey. He used to be in Houston. He lives here in Austin now. So he goes, what do you guys think about the theory that aliens being deep under the ocean? Stories of USOs or have been around just as long as UFOs. Was I guess the unidentified submerged or swimming objects. I don't know.
It's submerged.
I, it's the underwater. I guess the UUOs are
Underwater
associated.
UFOs.
The USO, so USO, which has been touring around with for the United States to help entertain our troops. No, I'm just kidding.
It's a great
No,
show.
as far as yes, actually, there's actually been a few TV series kind of dedicated. Like I mean, like well, I talk about stuff as far as when it comes to pop culture TV series. It's still they still have a basis, whatever quote unquote science or interesting stuff. So there was actually what was it called? There was like actually a show which was about saying about aliens being from underneath the water versus that's what they went like. Basically, it's like it's the it's the ancient city of Atlantis, or it's some other thing going on that's actually coming from
Mhm.
under the water. That's where it's not unlike the Hollow Earth theories with stuff. It's just rather from the
Yeah,
oceans versus the Earth. Um,
I've I God, I've actually heard some cool stories from friends about USOs. Like one guy, I believe he said he was working a fishing boat out in the Gulf, and he's been doing this for years. Like that was his job for a long time. He's retired now, but he was telling me. I asked him if he'd ever seen some weird shit out of the water because he's always talking about it. He was like, we went on a cruise together, and he's like, there's some weird shit down there, man. Hey, you don't even know what's down in that motherfucker. That shit's crazy, man. That's exactly how he sounds. I love this guy. He's awesome. But I asked him, I was like, what's the weirdest shit you've seen? And he was like, so they were on their boat, and out in the distance, they could kind of see like a pulsing light in the water, and it starts coming towards them, and they were like, what the fuck? What is that? What's going on? And then it right when it got I don't know got like what do you say like 50 feet away, disappeared. No more light under the water. But they could still like it still felt like it was coming towards them, and then the light popped up on the other side of them and shot off. And then I've heard somebody else tell me like basically the same story, light under the water, but they were on an oil rig, light under the water, and then it went really far away, and he saw it come out of the water. And when he told his captain about it, he was like, "Yeah, I've seen that before." I just kind of left it at that.
anyway, back to work.
Yep. It's like, don't think you're getting off work this easy.
No, yeah, no, I've heard some stuff like that, stories and things like that goes
I mean,
like
that's the
that.
most common, you know. Like it's just like that because that's all you really can see if you're above the water is a light under the
Yeah.
water moving. So you're not going to really hear much more about it. And I think
Well,
that's
that's
why
just
that's why I'm not as versed in USOs as I am UFOs. I do love the theory though. I mean, it kind of goes into the hollow earth theory. They could be coming out of ducts, that lead from the ocean into their world. They found a way, and that's where they come out.
yeah, no, it's. I mean, it's a story that's as old as Atlantis. So, as far as the idea of like being something like that, Nazis had a history of both USOs and UFOs, along with all sorts of other weird fucking paranormal shit. They
The
had a
Bell
whole
time machines, all that shit. Yeah.
Oh no, they had a whole department. They actually had like their own department that dealt with paranormal shit because Hitler, who
Oh,
was
he
losing his
loved the
mind
occult.
slowly over time due to mustard gas and syphilis, was really into that shit. And so he
Mm-hmm.
actually created a government, like a government agency dedicated to the paranormal and extraterrestrial. That is actually
Yeah, like
a
fucking
very
who
true
was it?
statement.
Was it
It's
Himmler
not
like
just
trying to
folklore.
do like black magic and shit? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, dude, that'd be a fun one to deep dive into as well. Like Nazis in the occult is fucking wild.
Oh, it gets really crazy. I deep dove into that. Like I don't know, about like 20 years ago, I deep dove hard
Yeah.
into that. Back when you really didn't have internet, as well, you still had internet, but it was like internet was not what it was today. Like you had to have really good Google food to track shit down.
Yeah. Shit, there wasn't even Google. It was fucking Ask Jeeves.
Oh, Ask Jeeves. It's fucking Alta Vista. I would like.
Alta Vista, Yahoo.
Oh yeah,
Who
that's
goes to
easy.
Yahoo for anything anymore?
No, Yahoo's still. I mean, Yahoo's still holding strong. So it's really just Google and Yahoo.
Mm, yep.
Um, But yeah, no, that would be another interesting one. Just talking about it's an interesting one to talk about, but we have to figure out how to do it right. When talking about the whole Nazi
Every four
occult shit,
minutes, we just say fuck Nazis.
we'd have to. I'd have to like I do have my fuck racism shirt, so I have to make sure and wear that.
Mhm.
And just and like put a little crawl underneath it saying we do not condone whatsoever. But listen to this weird shit. That might be a thing we can talk about in the future. But anyways, what time do we got? Oh man, we're like just hitting upon the hour.
Yeah. Man, the next one was actually kind of a long one, but I can do either a short one, or we can just say our goodbyes now. And
We can let's close out on a strong story. Is a long one a stronger story?
I don't know.
I
I
guess we'll
mean,
find
there's
out.
there's there's sound effects. All right, so basically, once a week for about a year, I would wake up to this noise I've never before or since heard. It was a whoom, whoom, whoom directly over my bedroom. No lights and hovering there for far longer than a helicopter could ever dream of. Sometimes I would hear the noise for a few hours. I never looked outside because, man, I know how those stories end, and Nanny didn't raise a fool. We lived about 5 minutes away from Ellington Air Force Base, where it has been rumored that they keep off-world aircraft since I was a kid. Other friends of mine would talk about strange high-pitched noises coming from the base. They live closer than I did. It was 5 minutes by car from my house, about 30 minutes walking. This was back in the early to mid 90s in Clear Lake, Texas. The second story was only once, but it was really fucking weird. I was living at Sherwood Forest Fair with my then boyfriend in the participants' campground. It was the middle of that cold year when the fog descended on Sherwood like the Ides of Ragnarok. That story was pretty creepy too, but not on topic. Referencing for time frame only, I believe that was 2014, but it very well could have been 2013. I was reading the book in the middle of the day during the week, so it was not a show day, and Moon Pie was asleep. I remember the campground being eerily quiet for the middle of the day, quiet enough to hear a pin drop in the sand. It was seemingly deserted too, except for the noise of the local flora and fauna. Suddenly, I started hearing what sounded like 30 feet tall, 20 feet wide sandbags or boxing bags thud onto the ground repeatedly, but not in one spot. The noise kept moving between tents and structures. Thud, 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 thud. After that, after the first one dropped, the forest went silent. Moon Pie slept through the whole thing. It went on for an exact 28 terrifying minutes. Once again, I knew better enough than to stick my head out and look. When I was talked to when I talked to other Rennies about it, they told me I was crazy and they hadn't heard anything, but no one was in the campgrounds to hear anything except Moon Pie and I. He was asleep, and I'm the only one who witnessed. I tried to wake him up, and usually he was pretty easy to rouse, but not that day. He didn't wake up until 3 minutes after it stopped. He said he didn't even hear anything through the wall of REM. That was the only occurrence to my knowledge there. McDade, Texas, Sherwood Forest Fair. So it sounded like something was smashing into the ground.
All right.
Yeah. Hmm.
Well,
What's that called when you terraform?
that's when you're
They're
actually
like they're forcing
changing the.
terraforming. They're gonna change. They're changing the landscape.
Could be. It's also a fair campground. So I mean, based
Construction in the
on what's
distance,
happened
maybe.
this year, what's based on what happened this past weekend at TRF campground, who knows what the fuck's gonna happen? Region news. I'm not going to get into it really, but the fact is, there's like crazy shit that happened like Sunday morning at the campground this year
Yeah, I saw
at
that.
TRF. So on that level, I go, it could have been anything then. But as far as the wom stuff that would like just hover over your house, that's kind of weird. But the wom, that could have been. I mean, it's I can't really say what it could be or cannot be because it's once again unidentified, but could be a lot of things, but
Yeah,
still, I
I
don't
was
discount
just
the experience. It was still weird shit that happened to you, and that would scare the fuck out of me if I woke up and you like heard a wall, or what it
yeah,
sounded like. But I'm also the weird guy that would look outside, but
yeah. No shit. I would look. I'm an idiot.
that's just because I would go, "What the fuck is
um,
that?" And I would have to go see.
yeah,
I'm the guy who has to go see because I'd have to know what it is because That's why I'm the skeptic in the end, because I don't just trust stuff on faith. I go, really? Why? Let's do the fucking James Randi test on it to make sure that it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I would still say, here's this weird shit that happened to me. That wouldn't change. No, it's so that I'm not thinking that's a weird thing to happen. It's kind of crazy. Uh,
Yeah. And man, there's still like a ton more stories. We're gonna have to do aliens again.
oh, well, of course we're gonna do aliens again. It's like we're always gonna talk
Mhm.
about aliens and ghosts. When in doubt, aliens and ghosts. We get bored. We're gonna talk about aliens or ghosts, and ghosts maybe both. I don't know. So there's some stories that kind of blend. So thanks everybody for being part of the show. We really enjoy having part of it, and we love people coming on the chat to chat with us. Thank you guys so much, Megs. Always a pleasure. If you're still in town on the
Cheers.
9th, let's talk some weird alien descendant stuff, because that'd be really kind of fun. And then thanks Corey Glory Streams, who does stream on Twitch, so make sure you follow him and watch all his kind of fun gaming stuff. Shout out. All right, next
Right on.
we'll talk about it. We're looking at the 9th. The only reason I say the 9th because next week it's election, so we're going to talk shadow government shit. Because why not?
Yeah.
How can we
Yeah.
make sure everybody watches us get arrested while talking on the air? And we figured talking
Yeah.
shadow government would be a good way to go.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
And then we'll talk alien stuff with Megs. And then we're gonna have some other stuff coming in. Both of us are working crazy for our stuff going on. I know we got our crazy stuff. Like, you can come tune in on Wednesday to catch me with the Devil's Hour with my super spoopy episode. I'm still finalizing some guests, but it's looking. But music wise, I know I've got Twin Terror. They're like this weird satanic doo wop group from LA. Satanic doo wop.
How about it?
So am I. And then the Golden Dawn Orchestra, who are out of here out of Texas, and so they're a fun ride. If you've never seen them live, that is a fun ride. And then I get some other fun stuff. I think I'm talking about. I might have like Rasputin's marionettes on,
Right
and
on.
stuff like, and lots of other fun stuff. And then on Halloween, right here on the channel for the G Spot, I'm gonna show Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Hey.
I was trying to make a decision
I
what would be
love that
better.
movie so much. You have no
I do
idea, dude. That's such a
too.
bad movie. I love
Well,
it.
it was between that and Night of the Living Dead, but everybody plays the hell out of Night of the Living Dead this month, so I went, you know what, I'm gonna do Plan 9. It doesn't get as much
Plan
love.
9. I mean, fuck, you got Vampira in it. Bam.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
Was it
it
Bela
was between the
Lugosi or who
two.
else? No, Boris Karloff. Who was in it? It was
Bela
somebody else.
Lugosi.
It was Bela Lugosi. Okay, yeah, I was right. Yeah. Oh my god.
Tor
It's
Johnson,
like
although it's a
for
really
no reason, they're just
awful
like,
movie.
like, hey, we need y'all for a good like couple minutes, please. Here's way too much money. Here's our entire budget.
No, it's
According to that movie, where I'm sitting right now is more of a fucking alien spaceship cockpit than that fucking movie. They just had like a table with a cloth over it. They're like, this is a spaceship. There's a curtain.
I like and when I move, I'm gonna make sure there's space for my green screen, so I can when I get everything set up right, you'll have my nice green screen behind me, so I can have all sorts of fun stuff. So I really will be in a spaceship sometime and things like that to make things interesting and more on theme for Gaffing the Truth, where we talked about shadow government. I know you get what is it? You still got 2 more weeks at the haunt, right?
3.
Is it 3?
3. Yeah, we've got Halloween this weekend, and then we're gonna open next weekend, and then we're gonna open the weekend after that because that's Friday the 13th.
Fuck.
Yeah, but I actually will not be at Creepy Hollow on the 14th.
No.
I will be at BFE Rock Club with Lil Kiki and Michael 5000 Watts.
That's a fucked up show that you're on.
I know, dude. I'm so excited about it. I'm like, oh my god, I really want Michael Watts to stand on me on a bed of nails.
So that's gonna be a lot of fun. So if you're in the Houston area, make sure you go to Creepy Hollow for one to go check out the freak show sideshow with
Yeah, we
Scab the
still got haunts
Clown.
open. We got carnival food. We've got awesome Nana's House of Treats. I just posted some of their food the other day. They made roadkill patties, so they're like packaged like raw meat because it's Rice Krispies. It's red velvet Rice Krispies treats. So they look like just raw, like ground meat in a patty.
That's so good. I love
Dude, they were
that.
delicious. They were
I
great.
bet. For me, it's just like I don't know. Like the fact is, you guys are open for an extra 2 weeks. I may like after Halloween's time, because my Halloween's kicking my ass right now. For everybody who happens to be in the Austin area, please come and visit me at Lucy in Disguise with Diamonds for all your costuming needs. It's an institution of Austin, been around for over 36 years. And so I am one of the costumers there. So I help put your look together. But we go back to regular hours, I think, next week. So maybe if it
Yeah.
times out right, because I also have to move, so I have to figure out times I have to move. I may try.
Yeah.
I want to come down. I really do kind of want to see the socially distant freak show.
When it's crowded, it's hard to socially distance.
I know that's my only problem. Is the fact is I'm trying to be so good. I'm being so good by not doing anything because you know me. I hate not
Yeah.
seeing people and doing stuff.
Best bet
And
it will
so
be. Yeah. Well, I mean, it'll be the weekend after Halloween, so it won't be as bad. Because
I'll see if my
this
timeline
past
is.
Saturday was insane, man. We had,
Oh,
like
I'm
I said,
sure.
we had 1,501 people. It was wild. It was packed.
I'm sure Halloween's gonna be nuts.
Yeah, we ended up doing 5 shows on Saturday instead of our normal 4 because
Oh, wow.
people were there so late.
So yeah, so you'll get done with your last show at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
And
I don't know,
on
man.
Saturday.
Halloween's such a toss up, dude. Like, I've been doing this for a long time, and I've had Halloweens where it's on a Saturday. It's great, nice, cool weather, but it's completely dead at the haunted house. But then it's Halloween on a Tuesday, and it's pouring rain and almost freezing, and we're stuck there till 2 or 3 in the morning.
I think it comes down to the fact is like fortunately because there's no big events happening, official events anyways.
Yeah,
A lot of
there's
people
plenty of parties. I've been invited to so many parties, and I'm like, y'all know I work at a haunted house. Like,
I've costumed for a lot of these parties that are happening up here, and I'm just going, oh, that's where a vector is going to be. I just went, oh, party there. That's cool. Have fun there. Are you? Yeah, like a picture with like a mixture mascot. Oh, we're not worrying about it. This is a party.
are y'all gonna have like just like a? Are y'all renting costumes too?
Yeah.
So, like, do you have a box that they just put it in that automatically sprays it with Lysol before y'all take it in?
Well, we have we actually set up for the Halloween week. We have a back entrance that we tell people to come pick up and drop off their costumes. So nobody even comes in the store at that point for their costume pickup. For if they're not picking up that day, like if they're like renting that day and leaving with it, they're fine. But some people go, all right, cool, I'm just gonna pick it up on Halloween,
Yeah.
and then like they have to go to the back door to get that sort of stuff, so they don't even come in the store. And when they drop off their shit, that's where they drop it off too. So, and it's big and outdoors. It's outdoors and stuff like that, so it minimizes that risk. And we've been doing it for years, but I think we're adding in some extra stuff. I don't know. I don't handle that portion of it, or at least currently, I don't handle that portion of it. So I don't know. So just everybody, please be safe. Mask up, even if you are going to a party. Unless they're part of your pod, keep your fucking mask on. Pull it up quick enough to get a quick drink. Use straws. Even if you're like me, if you're afraid, I rock a bandana, and so I can use a straw to drink underneath. So do that. Be safe, be cool, be groovy, because I want to go back to being on stage and doing dumb shit with this guy.
Yeah, I know. I've missed doing shows so much, and now I'm just tired of doing shows.
Well, it's the same show.
No, I'm kidding. I'm just tired from doing shows. I've missed this so much. I've been so. It's such a relief to be on stage again.
Oh, I'm sure. It's like someday.
Yeah, but I feel like after November, like it's gonna kind of dry up again.
Yeah, it's and it's one of those things. I go, And depending on how everything goes on the 3rd, it'll depend on what happens later when it comes to show stuff too. So make sure everybody votes if you haven't voted already. Can't bitch. It's one of those things. One, you can't bitch if you don't vote. Two is that one of the people running has got actual detailed plans that help trying to get us out of this shit, and the other one just likes to hear his own voice and does not think that it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And over 200,000 people died. Good for you, Corey. Win of the day. Yes. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're out. See us next week for the shadow government.
Shadow
stuff.
government.
I think shadow government stuff. Assuming that they let us do it. Bum bum bum.
Yeah.
Until then,
We're gonna get shut down like halfway through. All right,
sure.
bye.
Bye.